Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to AniyayAninay. As always, you know me. I am your host, John.
And I'm Joey.
All right. Is everybody ready? I know we're ready. Joey,
We're definitely ready to do this thing.
All right, let's get started then. As always, thank you for joining us back on our show, AniyayAninay. Before we get started, of course, we like to give you, everyone who listens to our podcast, a big shout out. Thank you for all your support. We are greatly appreciative. We're almost to 2,100 subscribers thanks to all your help.
We greatly appreciate y'all and greatly love you all.
Come on, Joey, you could say it.
I lost my phone. I lost my train of thought.
I mean, let me just say, honestly, I didn't expect us to get this far this fast. I mean, coming November, this will be our yearly anniversary, and I don't know if me and Joe are going to do a special episode for that, but only been 1 year. We're almost at 2,500 subscribers, and that sounds like a big accomplishment in my book.
I mean, I feel like it's a big accomplishment as well, to be honest, especially with how the algorithm is and all is, you know, how everything works out.
On YouTube, yeah, the algorithm's kind of hard to think because it's a giant search engine, so one thing can be big one day, then it can be down in the dumps the next day. But, I mean, we have to give all of our thanks to all of you who come to listen to us and take your time out of your busy schedules to listen to us, because we're truly grateful. We would not have gotten this far without your support.
Big facts, and we greatly appreciate everything y'all do, bringing us more people and, you know, sharing the content, commenting, and everything.
Yes, so thank you, all of you. It's us who should be, instead of you guys thanking us for giving you great content, it's you guys that deserve a big thanks for listening to our content.
Big facts.
You guys are the true ones that make this a reality. The fact that you guys want to keep coming to listen to us. But let's go ahead and get into the show. Now, before we get started, I actually want to name out some recent animes that just came out that I actually started watching. First of all, the second season of Devil is a Part-Timer is really funny. That show is hilarious, Joe. I mean, big spoiler alert, but I mean, it's like there's a kid that just shows up on their doorstep.
Facts.
And then start calling the two people who don't like each other, the hero and the devil, mom and dad.
Big facts.
That's kind of funny. And also another big thing, I have a big shout out about Kakegurui Twins starting. It just came out. I haven't started yet, but I'm really excited about that show because this show will be focusing on the main character, on my favorite character, Mary. So it's actually a prequel before Yumiko comes to Yakao Academy.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
I feel like they should have done that first, though.
Well, yeah, Kakegurui Twin came out after because of the big popularity that Mary got in the original show or in the original manga, but Yumiko was always the main character.
Yeah, for sure.
So they kind of did a spin-off story about her.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it kind of makes sense at the same time, though, because, you know, Yumiko's the main character, yeah. And then you got this other character that is big and known and all, but you don't have no backstory, really, so...
Well, I mean, as you know, the academy they go to, everyone comes from money, but from what I see, Mary has no money, so she's like the true underdog of this show, and she's smart and clever. But I mean, you saw that in the second season, how when Yumiko went down from being poisoned, how she like completely picked apart her opponents from the beginning. She knew exactly how to win.
Yeah.
Because of how the dealer was shuffling the cards. She picked them out. But I mean, then again, I'm pretty sure there's nobody who plays cleanly at that school. There's people, you know, poisoning people, you know, cheating at every chance they get.
Yep.
Honestly, this sounds like your school, Joey. Because you just probably seem like a guy who just psyched everybody out.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm innocent until proven guilty, okay?
No, I didn't say you would cheat. I'm just saying you give them a poker face that they probably would be like, what the heck? What's he looking at? And you'd probably be like, you ever going to go? If you're going to take this long to do your turn, I would have just brought a magazine with me.
I mean, if they take too long, I could have just brought a whole book and take like 2 days to read it.
Yes. But those are the two animes that I've been watching. One I have watched. The other one I haven't gotten started yet. But definitely it's one I want to do a review on, Kakegurui Twin. But we don't know when we're going to get to that because we have like a big list of animes.
Yeah, we still got a plenty more.
Yes.
Which is why I'm not really too stressed on that one right this moment.
Yes, we're not stressing it right now, but we will probably get to it soon. We may, because since it's one that's out in the open and it's popular, it's probably one people would probably want to hear.
True.
But what about you, Joey? Have you been watching anything new recently? I know you've been busy at work, so I mean,
there's no way I've been able to do anything except for work. That's all I've been able to do is work. I watched a lot of them just because of like being able to like, I don't know, like catching time like in between like going out if I had somebody to be able to cover for me for a break. I'd watch it for that few minutes that I was outside or whatever. But like that's about all I can really do right now. I've been stuck like Chuck.
Did you by any chance ever watch Rise? Because I know that was one you said you wanted to get started on, Rise of the Shield Hero. Did you by any chance get started on that?
I actually haven't, because I haven't been able to watch nothing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I cannot watch anything. Lately, I've been literally, like, the other day I worked from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6:25 in the afternoon. Wait, that was yesterday. Haha.
Yes. I get it. Work can do that to you.
I literally have not been able to do nothing.
Work can do that to
it's not even the hours, okay? I don't care about the hours. I don't mind the hours. It's just if
they interfere with this.
Yeah, I cannot have it interfere with what I want to do, period.
Yeah.
So they're about to, some crap might just happen.
Yes. Well, we don't want to go too deep into our personal lives. That's not shit we want to bring out on the podcast right now.
Oh, I'm not even saying anything. I'm just talking.
Yes, but
all I'm basically saying is that I just haven't been able to get the chance to.
But let's go ahead and dive into our review today. We're actually reviewing a show that Joey introduced me to called Dawn of the Witch. I'm pretty sure there's some good ones out there that everyone has heard about this. Let me rephrase that. There are probably people out there who have heard of this anime. And we actually got a reference for it not too long ago, wanting to review this. And actually, it wasn't until after the show that I actually found out that this show is actually a spin-off sequel to the anime Grimoireofzero. So
yeah.
We may actually have to look into that if we're going to do this one. We got to look into the one that
I was thinking that too myself. Was trying to watch that one already myself, but I just hadn't been able to.
Let's go ahead and get into this show because I got a few things to say, and not a lot of it's going to be good after watching that whole series. No offense to you, Joey, if you got a liking to it, but it kind of was a letdown on my side. Basically, let's go ahead and give you guys a little backstory on what Dawn of the Witch is about. Because we can't give you guys a good review if you guys don't know what the show is about, of course. But of course, we don't want to give out too much. But basically, it's about this boy named Saybil. He's a young magic student who has no memories and nothing to guide him about his past life. So basically, he's an empty book.
Mm-hmm.
He meets a silver-haired woman, basically, along with the promise of a special training. However, it seems it's not all that she's after. And it turns out this girl who has silver hair happens to be known as the Mud Black Witch, who is actually the star of the Grimoireofzero. She's the main character of that anime. But you see, also along the way, he has Professor Locke, a witch known as Professor Locke's Crostas Laws, who's known as the Dawnwitch. She's a 300-year-old witch who actually looks like a child.
Facts. Like, it looks like she's maybe 16 years old, man.
She's a lowly, no doubt. The way she dresses, frilly dress, heels. She looks kind of like a maid, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. She looks like a little girl. Like a little, kid girl.
Yeah. Then you got Holt, the Dear Beast Fallen. She's, of course, a fourth-year student. And she's actually part beast. She's got antlers under her hair that she covers up. But she's, of course, the kind of airheaded, bubbly, big-breasted girl that you see in a lot of animes.
Yeah.
And then you got Kudo, who's also a beast fallen, but he's actually a lizard man. And he's that tough exterior guy who deeply cares about people.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned before, not only is Zero from grimoireofzero, the Mud Black Witch, in this, also the mercenary tiger Beast Fallen is also in it. So you have two characters from the first series, the two main characters from the first series, who are in this show. And they're now teachers, basically, of these new students.
Well, damn. That's pretty cool, right?
I guess in a way it's cool. So basically, you have the two main characters now who are teachers to these new set of students. I guess I can understand where they're going with this.
Yeah.
With trying to give us a new set of characters.
Mm-hmm. That's really all that is trying to make a whole different set of characters come up and do what basically the same crap. Maybe just different enemies, but the same crap.
Well, basically, I mean, the show kind of had a decent start in a way, but it was really a big letdown. And I'm going to go into detail about why I feel this is a letdown. Though I don't know anything about grimoireofzero myself because I haven't watched that one yet. But this is definitely something, I don't know if grimoireofzero was really good or just the same, but it just feels like this anime didn't hold up to standards of what it could be.
I can't really say nothing about grimoireofzero either, really, because I haven't seen it myself, so I don't really know much, but...
Well, the art is basically typical for fantasy anime.
Mm-hmm.
The art design. I mean, you got flashy spells, good background, a past that comes back by the 5th episode, and like I told you, big tit chicks who fall in love with the main character by episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you got, of course, the professor who acts like a child. Seems like she's got a thing for the main character too. And then, of course, out of nowhere, you find out that that Zero is the aunt of the person that she's teaching.
Yep.
Okay, so that's just odd. I mean, the characters itself, in my opinion, is what fails this anime. No offense to them, but I mean, you got the typical, basically, an amnesia student who doesn't know anything about who he is, where he is, just knows by some point that he's meant to be a wizard. Of course, by his magic talents. But it just seems like the plot was messy. Yeah, the characters themselves, there's not really any build-up of their past. We just know a little bit about them. We know that Holt was just meant to be a spy. The lizard man, I can't believe I just forgot his name and I just said it. How could I forget his damn name? Just give me a second, guys. His name's gonna come back to me in a second. Kudo. Yeah, kudos or whatever. That's what I'm gonna remember from now on. I mean, the lizard man, Kudo, not the lizard man. His name is Kudo. All we know is that he was once some circus freak. He was held up in captivity.
Yeah, the lizard man was some circus freak, technically, basically.
Saved by some dragons rider or something like that used to be a knight. And then, of course, Saybil, who's amnesic, who basically has no clue who he is meant to be a wizard. We later find out that his aunt is Zero, the Mudblack Witch, the writer of the Grimoire of Zero. That's no build-up, in my opinion.
No, not really.
And that's there's no character development. Like, we didn't even get a character development for the Dawn Witch herself. We just know that she's 300 years old and just seeks out entertainment. How did she end up like that? We don't even know anything about that.
It's crazy. That part I really wish they would have gave us more insight on, though.
Yes. The story-wise, it was mess. The story plot-wise, it was messy. It was all over the place. So first of all, we're out saving. First of all, he comes in for a special assignment, saying that they're gonna make him a wizard within a year, even though he's the worst student. Then he travels with the Dawn Witch, saying that she'll be his advisor on the trip. And then all of a sudden, it turns out their big strategy to turn them into wizards is to have them run a store of some kind. And of course, Zero believes that she knows exactly what kind of witches they're going to be, witches or wizards they're going to be. Saying Kudo will be this amazing defensive wizard. Holt will be like this great stealth operative in a way, and that Saybil will have power that surpasses her own. Yeah. That's another thing about the character development. Of course, they said Zero was supposed to be this amazing wizard from the Grimoire of Zero. But all of a sudden now she's dying. She needs she's like losing her magic, and that's like causing her to lose her life. How did that even happen?
That part is why we gotta watch the Grimoire of Zero to see if they put it in that.
Yeah, if it's not in there, then that just seems weird.
Facts. If it's not in there, then they're gonna have to make another movie that's in between them, or another one in between them.
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing I like about the story is the fact that the guy, Saybil, was so powerful, he couldn't use any spells. Because he had no control over how he can use it.
That was the thing that mainly got me as well. Was the fact that he was too powerful to actually control it.
Yeah, because now usually in these kind of stories, it would be that they're too weak to use that kind of spell, but this one, he's too powerful. He can't control or figure out how to use his magic correctly. I mean, the only thing, in my opinion, that was technically decent was the artwork. And usually that's something that stands up, pretty well in a lot of animes. But I mean, we got the usual characters, of course, that were kind of bland. I think the only artwork that a lot of people probably would love to drool and look at more than anything was probably Holt, of all people. Because her fan service is probably what gets a lot of people.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Very, very possible.
Yeah. The opening theme wasn't too bad, but it still doesn't top a lot of the other ones I've heard.
True.
Yeah. The only thing that seems like that could have made the show even better is if they probably put more characters like Holt in it. because everything was so messy and the characters were so bland. It was like there was nothing really there, and I don't really understand what they're trying to accomplish right now. They're saying they're trying to make them wizards or witches, whichever one you want to call them, but all I'm seeing is I don't understand how they're doing that when they're not really training. They're just running shops.
I mean, whenever it comes down to wizards and witches, you know, technically they make potions and stuff like that. So, with that being stated, of course they're going to need to run a shop to where they can make the potions and practice with the potion making. And with that, that also gives them the practice of the magic as well, because they're having to enchant and make the potions magical to work.
Yeah, I understand that too, but the only one who was technically doing that was Saybil. Saybil was the only one technically running a shop to kind of do that by giving people boosts of his magic. Kudo was working in the hospital, and I don't even remember what Holt was doing. But she wasn't doing anything that I recall that would involve her doing
I don't
anything
remember
like that.
But that's what the whole ideal for the shop would have been for. Saybil was basically doing the right thing.
Yes.
And that's the whole issue. I think Saybil was supposed to be the one that was doing the right one in the show, and then the other two was the ones that weren't doing the right thing, but they was doing enough to get by.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. The only one who was technically acting like a real witch in a way was their professor. She was busy in Zero's library constantly reading books. Because this was like her dream to meet her.
Yep.
I mean, you saw how she reacted when she found out who she was. I mean, along with Holt, I mean, the dawnwitch gave us plenty of fan service, constantly like falling on her back and giving us plenty of panty shots. But I mean, it's so odd with what's going on in the show. It's just like a very messy plot. No possibility for any sort of extension on this show, or possibly for them to continue the Grimoire series, because there's really nothing there anymore. I mean, I don't know how Grimoire Zero ended, but if this was technically supposed to be a sequel to it, they definitely lost their chance with these new characters, and probably should have just kept it going with the original characters.
I don't know. I gotta watch the Grimoire of Zero before I can personally say completely for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an okay movie show, you know, whatever you want to call it.
TV show. Yeah.
It's good. It's okay. Just some things, you know. Like, oh, really?
Well, I mean, there are some things that have like faults to it, Joe, but I think you've known for a long time when we do these shows of which shows have, you know, faults that other things make up for, whereas a lot of shows have too many faults, and this is probably one of them that has too many of them.
I mean, it's possible, and I doubt that I don't see how they could bring another one to the series, but you never know, they might just try it anyways.
I think Grimoire Zero was meant to be a one and done, and then they tried to keep it going with this spin-off, and it was just a failure. So, I mean, it gets an AniyayAninay on my end. No offense to anyone who did like the show, but it's an AniyayAninay. It just doesn't have the zest that a lot of other shows and fantasies have.
So I'm gonna go because I'm an type of guy on this one.
There's things you want to say yay and things you want to say nay about.
I mean, really and truthfully, I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of like it's more like an AniyayAninay, but it's not like a crappy AniyayAninay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So that's why I'm like because it's like sort of in the middle, but not really completely in the middle. More leaning towards the nay part for me. I mean, it was okay. It was a decent, okay enough movie, show, whatever you want to call it, TV show, movie, whatever. It's just I don't know. It took me a couple days to actually watch it. Normally, if like even on my off day, I would start watching it, and I would be able to watch like 3 episodes, and then I'd have to watch something else, just because it wasn't completely catching my grasp.
I mean, when you binge watch a lot of stuff, I mean, I've been binge watching Overlord to try and catch up and everything, but you can't just keep watching everything until the show ends, in my opinion, just like me. That's why I'm watching like 6 or 7 shows on our list at one time to try and keep my brain going. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking out there, how can you remember all this stuff about one show when you're watching so many shows at once? I was like, well, in my head, I'm just saying to them, that's just the magic of being a podcaster, I guess. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
I mean, I would say, and don't get me wrong, I don't really say that much. I have been talking a lot more than whenever I started, but I would say it's like that. It's just how it is. It's what happens. You know, you tend to, really and truthfully, it's more of like, it's what we enjoy. So of course we're gonna pay more attention to what we enjoy than anything else. So with that being stated, it'd make it a whole lot easier with us to be able to, watch a whole bunch of them at one time and remember everything about them. We pay more attention to that than anything else that we actually do, because that's what we want to do.
Yeah, it's true. Well, you can't technically say anything's like work, or can't say you dislike anything if you're doing something that you enjoy.
Facts. And this isn't this. It's kind of like a job, okay? It's a job, but it's not a job. It's something we enjoy, and that's why it's not a job.
Just a shout out to all you guys. This is not just some advice from anyone who listens or haven't started on your careers or anything like that. For any kids who listen to us, don't waste your lives doing something you don't enjoy.
Facts. It's not worth it. Trust me.
You live only once. You should make your life worth enjoyable.
It's nowhere near worth it. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, at first you won't enjoy anything you try to do. But you got to give it a chance, and then, if you don't enjoy it within maybe 2 weeks, I'm done with it. Bye. Whatever you need to do. Make sure that you got something back up, though.
Yes.
Always have a backup plan.
But we're not on this podcast to give life advice, of course.
Of course not.
We're here to review animes. So, as we said before, Dawn of the Witch on my end gives an aninay. Joey gives it a meh. A meh.
A meh. It's the meh. Annie meh.
Well, before we wrap up this show, we just want to give you all a heads up. On our next episode will be, of course, our Studio Ghibli special, and we'll be doing Arrietty, the Secret World of Arrietty.
Yep, the Secret World of Arrietty.
Yes. I actually already watched it, but I mean, the link I found it on, I was actually watching the British version I mentioned in the last Studio Ghibli episode. With Tom Holland.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And I think it's the same link I sent you, so.
Nope, yay.
So you're not watching the American version.
That's okay.
The one thing I like to point out about, even though this isn't the Studio Ghibli series, when we should talk about that on the Studio Ghibli series, we usually do. I just like to mention that a lot of times when we're watching these shows, they kind of, for the American version, they don't keep the Japanese names. They change them to American names.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arrietty, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The main character, boy's name, his name is Sho. But America, they just call him Sean.
That don't make no sense.
It's American, and I guess it's.
I don't care.
And And since they're kid movies, I guess they're trying to have them learn American names. Because, you know, some of the shows we review on our actual show, like this one, Joey, not everything is... A lot of things we review aren't rated G. Or PG at that.
Oh, I already know. It's what we do, though.
Yeah. But yes, everybody, tune in for when we review The Secret World of Arrietty. But until next time, I'm your host, John.
And I'm Joey.
We'll see you
on the next one.